we have to look at, because where are most people headed right now? Mentally, spiritually, and physically, because of what they've been doing and involved in that they don't even know about. If we think that it doesn't matter if you know about something or not, whether it's going to affect you, I believe that we've lived lifetimes of thinking that it's not going to affect us, thinking that we don't have to make a decision, thinking that we could just leave it on autopilot, someone's going to take care of it for us. And the reality is that is not what's happening. What's happening is that we're tumbling down lives. Now we're divided beings. We have man and woman here on the planet when we were once together. Who is the real demon? I know a lot of this stuff is tough, and it's because of the environment that we've grown up in. It's taught us not to brave things. It's taught us not to have to exert ourselves. And that's why most people, they don't breathe a lot, they don't work out, they just can't bring up the energy to do it. And that is a part of how it finishes trapping the individual. Puts a web over them, it doesn't want to fight, it sends a little poison, like the poisonous snake. The person starts to run themselves out of energy, and then they run out of so much energy that they can't even break out of the web. We're coming with swords. We're cutting people out of the web. This is the job and responsibility of us all here in humanity. Regardless of whatever this reality is constructed of, if we don't do what we need to do, it only proves to each of us what we would have been like towards the time where the world needed us. This becomes very, very important to understand if that something like that is written on your auric field. Of what you did during this particular time when not just the universe, but everything, the zero, as they say, what's outside of what we know, even needed us to make a real decision for once in our lives about whether we're going to get into this, whether we're going to now accept certain things and begin to move because you feel like you can do it. This can bring your energy back. Knowing the knowledge, they say, is just like a person who has never talked about something that has hurt them or they've been abused by. And they say that it rests within their consciousness and it causes certain character flaws. So imagine how much character flaw is being caused by people doing magic and things of that nature, and tricking people by writing holy books that tug on their soul but still leave them empty. You see? Like, this is the predatory nature of this reality. And then when a person gets close enough to realizing they can break themselves from it, then it tries to wash over them and say, you're already free. But I tell you the truth, you're not free unless everyone's free. Because we're all connected. That's the reality. So you have some people who've been storing up cash, collecting being Smeagol. Then you have some people who have nothing. These two are about to come together for the last grand finale. It's not even, people don't understand, they think that when Earth hits its final state of balance, that it's just going to be like Earth, and we're all going to be happy, walking around with smiles on our faces. Then it's going to go to a whole higher dimension immediately. Then it's like the moment that whatever the negative part or the part that's holding everyone back is released and cut, we slingshot out of here. Now, the interesting part about a lot of this experience that we had is it's also given us the brains and the minds of gods and goddesses. This is what they call the gift and the curse. So we kind of know how things work, even to the point where we even know how to cut ties with negative things. Using a Skype, as they say in this one text, it says, thought, I'm going to read it here, also has a negative aspect. So I guess in this case, it's negative would even at sometimes be as positive, if you understand how some of these beings are calibrated. It's thought of Braxis Lunar 2. I don't think you have it.
Yes, it's up on screen now.
Okay. It says, however, thought's nature has a dangerous side. He is called the cunning one, whose knife is thought of as the crescent moon. Okay? Now remember, about 3 shows ago, we were telling people that the crescent moon was like a Skype And if the Scythians were using it, it says the god is often represented armed with a knife. Thoth was regarded as the murderer of Osiris. I bet the Egyptian lovers would love to hear that. Because he was a bad protector of the moon's phases, meaning that after a while, Osiris started slipping on his game about how he was going to let the moon manipulate everything, and then all of a sudden, Thoth tightened him up. Since he appeared as hostile to the deceased and to the gods, who were afraid of the destructive powers, Thoth had been born in an unnatural way from the head of the Neoseth, the violent god par excellence. Indeed, he was said to have no mother, although occasionally Neith is mentioned as his parent. To this may be added Thoth's bad reputation as a trickster who steals the offering and mischievously diverts 1/4 of a day at the end of each month. So, what that means is that the Archon, which means arc, of course, we got one arc, that's a D. You get 2 arcs, that's a whole. So now you got a completed being. So archangel is basically a demon. He's a divided spirit. So I'm sure they have a word for this in Arabic. So these beings, they say in the Gnosticism, were birthed from the explosion of Earth when coming into existence. That even the explosion itself caused energy to create these archons who don't have a mother. At least this is the story that they're going by. But it also lends a lot of credit to how they behave and what they say about where they came from. And many of these concepts you'll see in Final Fantasy with the character Sephiroth. You'll see this character within the Golem. It's basically the being that has been created, but not in the same way creation comes about. Meaning that for us, we know we came from the mother, the womb, because we see it happen all the time. But many of the ancient beings, you didn't see what kind of womb they came out of. So don't automatically assume, like we do at times when we think that we're alone here, that they came out of the same type of womb or same type of geometry. And so that's what we found out. We found out that the iris of a being's eye, animal, insect, etc., corresponded to what exactly the dimension that their archetype really resides on. And they simply remain here as a fractal, as we remain here also as a fractal of who our higher self really is, which appears to be because of the consciousness level chained down. But the higher consciousness for many individuals has already freed itself, and now it's attempting to free its final component in the dimension called Earth. As it's traveling down dimensions, freeing up itself. And this is happening for multiple people. And the phases in between it happening are our responsibility. And that's what I just want to get through to everyone. Our responsibility is that what I'm explaining to you is going to happen anyway. We're the people that make it happen. We've already taken initiative. Right now we're developing so much stuff to bring out to people, even homeschool curriculum systems, to prepare them as fast as possible. We're talking about things that can transform a person within a month. But I tell you the truth, we've been doing this on nothing as far as finances are concerned. It's just been miracle after miracle after miracle with how things even just keep going here. But if we had more support to actually really do something with, you could only imagine. What this only shows is that with having basically very little support, we've been able to do all this. So imagine what we can do. And I've been saying this, why do you think that it's been 2.5, 3 years that I've been giving knowledge like this, but I receive no support and no recognition from anyone? When people that have done a fraction of what I've produced here, that's just here, I have to brag about it, it's in the works. They've done even smaller percentages of that, and then I've given it away for free, but they won't even give me a call. Probably doing something right, huh? I'm glad at this point in learning the final secret, which is what will be made available to you, is understanding the secret of the currency, which is that, well, that I'll leave for this publication that I'm putting out right now, because it's got to be exposed. It's got to be shown, and we're definitely going to bring people out of it. So there's only, I think, 15 minutes left in today's show. I'm going to once again give everyone an opportunity to press 1 or to ask any question. If you do have a question, you can type that in the chat box. Okay, I'm now looking into the Blog Talk Radio chat box to see if there's any questions being typed there. Also, we're going to log on to the Resistance website real quick and see if there's any questions there in that box. And if not, this is definitely a point where we can end the show. Also, again, to tell people, well, if they want to know, very easy, what should I do? It's your seed. Your money has now become your seed. It's your current. Where you plant it, even when giving it for rent and things of this nature, it really does matter. The best thing that you can do for yourself is accumulate as much of it as possible, as fast as possible, and go and get yourself self-substantiated. We will be talking about self-substantiation here within the next 2 weeks. What this means is that you have well water, you have a generator, you have the things that are necessary and you have fruit trees, things that would be necessary for you to just completely jump off the grid and not have to worry about using money. And then from that point, you can also utilize the energy that you can build up naturally as your new currency. And you can watch that take care of everything else, because basically you don't touch it. There's one thing that's interesting when I came out of the portal, I'll just remark on this now, is that the beings that I was in contact with did not want me to really touch money much, because they had clearly marked it as being like had some type of negative field on it. So I believe what you can do is use the citrine, because that's why it's one of the only crystals that never need to be cleaned, and use the selenite, those two crystals that never need to be cleaned, and put it in conjunction with your money just to wash it up a little bit. This is real money laundering, but I'm telling you, it can help you. I just, I'm here to assist you as much as possible in the situation. It's almost like I'm being briefed about what the situation is, and I just have to figure out how to articulate it properly, but you can only imagine what it would do to my brain to have all of this information at one time. Glorious. It's like you really have a solution. It just takes time for it to actually come out, all of it, because the solution is different for many people. We have many different kind of beings here, and that's also what the resistance is about. And that's why we have no color lines. We have no species lines. We don't hate the reptilians. We don't hate the lions. We don't hate anyone save those that, well, actually, we don't hate anyone. We don't even want to associate it with the energy. But the reality is that there are those that need to be exposed. And that's what we're here to do. And if people perceive that as hate, then they're confused. Because even sometimes it feels like you're angry, but what else can you feel when you find out you've been asleep for so long, and that we really could become and be very powerful beings? And just even getting the reference points, meaning that a lot of the stuff that I've been able to have the opportunity to be around, like the Ayurvedics and the monatomic gold and breathing, whole body breathing, have taken me into a higher state of consciousness beyond what I'm explaining to you here. I'm using such a lower form of communication with talking, because I have so much to say, but only one mouth. And that's sometimes why my memory starts to stumble over itself. It's just something that happens. But as we go on more, we'll be able to pull this out and to show people exactly what it is. Taking a look one more time at the chat box. I do have a question here, and I'm going to go ahead and take that question. Caller, your area code is area code 505. You're actually on the air with Esoteric Radio. How can we assist you?
Hey, Brother Trevor, it's Nemo. I haven't chimed in a while, but we need to support a little more. It's interesting how you mentioned the citrine and actually transferring the currency a little bit. Can you expound a little bit on grounding out that currency as we would with an electrical field, the same way with money, and grounding out and actually dispersing some of it?
Well, really what you would be doing with money, it's almost like if you had something that was contaminated, there's still only a certain level of cleaning that you can do it if it has a core of contamination. So this is like a bacteria. And so no matter how much bleach you pour on it, if there's something that is inside of it that is causing it to become a bacteria, then it can only be washed somewhat to make it have less of an effect. It's like we can only lessen its effect, but we will never be able to eliminate its effect entirely until we stop using it. Lessening its effect would be, of course, making sure that where it goes, you